your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Over 30% of adults struggle with chronic foot and joint pain, and many face mobility limitations as they age. But a revolutionary Comfort First slipper has taken the wellness world by storm. Try Cloud Slides and feel you are walking on the clouds. Cloud Slides.
Hello, and welcome on in to another episode of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stuart here on Rogue Media Sports Network. Your host, Cam Stuart here, Zach Burke behind the glass, keeping us on the air, live on YouTube 5 days a week, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. It is your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio, and you know it's right here on the Wicked Boston Show. Man, do we have a big rest of the week, not just today, but rest of the week for you. We know who the Patriots are playing in the AFC Divisional Round. Does that make me sleep better at night? Not really. The Houston Texans will be coming to town, and I have been saying it for over a month. Now, this was the team I did not want to play in the playoffs. And here they are coming to Foxborough with that stingy, scary, kind of playoff altering defense coming to your building after you just have one of your worst offensive outputs of the year. It is going to be fascinating. And big news from the Wicked Boston show. I will be in attendance for that game. Foxborough, 3 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday afternoon. I will be there. I've been gifted tickets as a late Christmas gift. I cannot wait to be there. Hopefully really cold. We're hoping for it for a dome team coming up. It wasn't that cold this Sunday against the Chargers. And to be quite honest, it doesn't look like it's going to be that cold again on Sunday. I'm like, what happened to January in Foxborough? The high is only 36 on Sunday. Like, what are we doing here? Can I get some snow? Can I get some 15 degrees? Something to throw this Houston Texans team off. So anyway, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be reacting to the Texans absolutely just pummeling the Steelers into submission, possibly ending Aaron Rodgers' career, and kind of the weirdness around that, by the way. We'll talk about what that means for the Patriots. We will go over whether this team has already broken a promising NFL quarterback this postseason, whether they broke Justin Herbert for good. And we will get more on this Alex Bregman to the Cubs situation. The Red Sox, are they pivoting now? Is it Bo Bichette? Did something happen in the last hour that means they can actually go out and trade for Ketel Marte? Man, all that and more coming up on this episode of the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. But we start where we start, and that is the Texans' absolute thumping of the Yinzers up on the banks of the Three Rivers. I mean, wow. I was going into this game last night hopeful that maybe by hook or by crook, by some weird Steelers playoff black magic, the Steelers could get it done at home and come up to New England. In fact, I said yesterday on the show, I would give both of my testicles if it meant the Pittsburgh Steelers were coming up to play the Patriots in the divisional round, because that's free. That's free money. Patriots win that 11 times out of 10. Instead, the football gods kind of got it right. The better team won. The Houston Texans absolutely annihilate the Steelers on the final scoreboard, but it was frustratingly tight throughout most of the game. Let me just say this. This is the weirdest I have felt about a Patriots playoff opponent maybe ever. And that's a lot for people my age. We've seen a lot of Patriots playoff games. This is the weirdest I've ever felt about a team the Pats were going up against in the postseason. Because on the one hand, I've talked about it for a month now. The team that I did not want to face was the Houston Texans. We started talking about this in December. They were getting hot. They went on a winning streak, and it was really fueled by that defense. And it still is. They were beating good teams along the way, for people who take that into account, right? But this defense is frightening. And if you look at it by the league rankings and by the advanced metrics, and a lot of these numbers are going to tell you that this is a good, not great Texans defense. That's what it's going to tell you. But if you watch the Houston Texans play, especially last night against a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, you're going to say, really? This is a good defense? Some people would tell you it's one of the best defenses I've ever seen, the way they've been going the last month or so. And that's what it looks like on the eye test. The numbers never lie. You can always find numbers to tell your story, but the numbers do not tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to this Houston Texans defense. They can maul you. And they got dudes. Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter, Derek Stingley in the backfield. My man, Jalen Petrie, one of my all-time favorite football players. I got to root against him this week. It's really frightening. This is the word I keep coming back to, because I just don't think the Patriots have seen an animal like this defensively. They've seen some good defenses. and people will discredit this because these teams weren't great, but like the Browns had a really good defense this year, and the Patriots hung 30 on them. And Myles Garrett still got his. He got 5 sacks in that game, and the Patriots beat him by 3 touchdowns. The Chargers, statistically, are a better defense than the Texans. But as I just said, we can't just go by the statistics. Watching games, watching both those teams the last month, the Texans have a better defense. And the Patriots only scored 16 against the Chargers. 1 offensive touchdown. So there is big concern there. The left side of that offensive line, big concern with Jared Wilson and Will Campbell, who both did not have good games on Sunday night. To say that this is the biggest test they've had in the NFL would be an understatement. Maybe Will Campbell learned something from the Myles Garrett assignment, but they come at you from all angles, this Texans team. They are physical. They are hard-hitting. They rally around the ball, and they can get after you. They're fast. So on one hand, I hate seeing that. I hate seeing that it's the Texans because this was the team I wanted to avoid. I think this is by far the biggest test for the Patriots offensive line. But on the other hand, I watched the game last night. And one thing I really finally had to come to the conclusion for, the thing I finally had to kind of realize is true with this Texans team is this dude's some ass. CJ Stroud is some ass. Okay? And I've got a lot of Texans friends. I do. And I've been hyping up the Texans and talking about how that's the team I don't want to face. And these people will text me, they'll be like, you don't know, but CJ Stroud's going to fuck it up. Like, he's going to ruin it for us. And I just, all season, I was like, you know what? You're being too hard on him. It's just like Philly with Jalen Hurts. Like, this dude is good enough with this defense. And like, I watched last night and I'm like, maybe this dude ain't good enough. 5 fumbles. Now the defense only recovered 2 of them, but this dude fumbled the ball 5 times last night against a defense that's pretty much on par with the Patriots. If you fumble 5 times against the New England Patriots, even if you're only losing 2 of them, you're gonna lose the football game. If you fumble 5 times against the Patriots this week, you're gonna lose. Like, that's just how it is. It is fascinating that both these teams lost the turnover battle in their wild card games and are meeting up in the divisional round. But like, CJ Stroud cannot carry you there. So what the Texans need to be, which they could possibly be, the Texans need to be a team that is a stout defense that you don't want to see on your schedule they need to elevate to all-time great to get to a Super Bowl. Like, all-time great. Like, we're talking about the 2015 Broncos kind of great. That was a defense that got a team that really got nothing out of the quarterback position all year. And their quarterback was Peyton Manning. But they got nothing out of it. He's statistically one of the worst quarterbacks ever to win a Super Bowl that year. But their defense just didn't let anybody do anything ever. And the Texans need to take that jump because CJ Stroud, not it, dude. Not it. 2 lost fumbles and a pick, 5 fumbles total. He's the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to win a playoff game when he fumbled 5 times. And I saw that stat and I was like, well, of course he is. Right? Is that the least surprising stat of all time? Of course he's the only one. And then I looked deeper and it turns out in the illustrious 100+ year history of the NFL, there have only been 15 games ever in 107 years where the quarterback has fumbled 5 times or more. 15 times ever. And they win about a third of those games. CJ Stroud has won. It's actually exactly a third. 5 out of the 15 have won. So we are talking about like really, really playing with fire here. And as good and as dominant as this Texans defense is and was last night, it was 7-6. midway to, late in the third quarter, it was still 7-6. And the Texans kick a field goal, and it's 10-6. And then they get 2 defensive touchdowns, a scoop and score, and a pick 6. And all of a sudden, bing, bang, boom, the game is over, and it looks like a blowout. It's 30-6. I just don't even, I saw Drake May play fast and loose with the football this week. The last time he did that, which was back against, ironically enough, coincidentally enough, Pittsburgh earlier in the season, he completely took that out of his game, and it was gone. And he protected the football better than pretty much any quarterback in the league in the 2.5 months after that, 3.5 months after that until this game. So, like, I don't, as good as this Texans defense is, I don't think you can bank on 2 defensive touchdowns to give you some breathing room. And the Patriots, specifically their offense, is not the Steelers. They are better than that. And so as much as I get worked up and worried about the Texans, I do have to kind of tell myself, we're not talking about the Steelers here. We're talking about the Patriots. And there are some things with this Texans defense that's really interesting, not the least of which being, the fact that they don't give up a lot of points, but they do give up chunk plays, or the fact that they blitz less than almost anyone in the league, and they're still top 10 in the league in sacks. That's a fun one. Yeah, I think they're 29th in blitz rate in the entire NFL, and they're top 10 in sacks. So they don't need to blitz to get to your quarterback. And I would argue the Patriots' weakest link right now is the offensive line, specifically the left side of the offensive line. There are some holes there. And so I think the Texans can absolutely exploit that. But that said, I think the Patriots defense is up for this. I think they're really up for this. Because watch, as this goes out through the week, the national people are going to be picking the Texans. It sounds crazy. We never would have experienced that 10 years ago with Tom Brady, picking against the Patriots in a home playoff game. But people are going to start to pick Houston. And the other thing, too, not for nothing, it hasn't exactly been tough for road teams to win in this postseason. The Rams went and won on the road. The Bills went and won on the road. The Texans just went and won on the road. The 49ers went on the road and won against the defending champs. So it's not a crazy thing to think the road team's going to win. In fact, only 2 of the home teams won this weekend in 6 games. Patriots, of course, being one of them. It was a great atmosphere, and I'm going to make it even better. But it's not like some years where you say, well, Patriots at home, W. Denver at home, W, because the Bills are favorites in that game. So it's fascinating, and I can't wait for it. I do want to get your guys' thoughts in the comment section below on what you think about this matchup facing the Texans, how scared you might be, because I'm a little worried. If Drake May wins this week, I'm not worried about anybody. I'm not worried about any team. If he can go up against this defense, score enough points to win, have a good game, I feel good about anybody. I do want to, however, highlight something else that happened in this game last night. So it looks like it is going to be Aaron Rodgers' last game in the NFL. And the last couple of minutes got, I thought, really weird. So it's a blowout game. His last pass probably in the NFL is a pick 6, right? It's 30-6. We're just winding down the clock, letting it run out. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, 2 of the best in the game, are like, they're eulogizing Aaron Rodgers' career, which they should do. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, do I care? Do I, the football fan, care? Do I, the football fan and history buff, care? And my answer to me was no. Peyton Manning, who wasn't my guy, but like him riding off into the sunset, I guess he won the Super Bowl to end it, but like that deserves a good eulogy, right? That deserves people tuning in from all over the country to be like, wow, this is it. Brady, same thing. Wow, this is it. But Aaron Rodgers, even though he's a top 10 quarterback ever to play, Drew Brees was another guy who should get that, right? But Aaron Rodgers, like a top 10 quarterback ever, his career's winding down. And I'm like, is anybody feeling this moment? Is anybody sitting here going to remember this moment? And the players seem to like him, his teammates and opposing players. That hasn't really been an issue necessarily with Aaron Rodgers. Most players like him, but he's become a very unlikable guy for fans and for media, which he doesn't really care about. But it's odd. He should have retired last year. He came back this year. He's going to retire again. He doesn't have, even with Green Bay, like he doesn't really have a connection there the way he should, the way Brett Favre did and probably still does, the way Brady has with New England, the way Breeze has with New Orleans, a guy who also only won one Super Bowl. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has that, and it reminds me of, to really go off topic, but bring it back for a second. It reminds me of this interview a couple years ago. It's two soccer players, Jamie Carragher and Michael Owen. And Michael Owen was a boy wonder for Liverpool and left in his prime to go play at Real Madrid. And Liverpool to soccer is like, the Packers for football, the Steelers for football, the Red Sox or the Yankees for baseball. Like, it's dyed in the wool, hardcore fan base. If you leave us, go fuck yourself and don't let the door hit you on the way out. That kind of fan base. And Jamie was asking, Jamie, who played his entire career for Liverpool and grew up there, asked Michael Owen, like, you only go there for a year. You start bouncing around a couple different places. Do you feel like you are loved at any one of the places you played? And he said, no, I don't. I don't think I can go back to any of my former clubs and be treated, for lack of a better term, be treated like royalty and be loved upon and, bring my family to a game and they see how much, these people love me. There isn't that for him. And I don't know that there's that for Aaron Rodgers, who would be comfortably the best quarterback ever to not get that kind of treatment. And all these guys get bothered by it. He'll tell you he doesn't, and he does the retreats and he doesn't talk to anybody. And he's the future Hall of Famer, most likely to marry an AI woman. But like, he's not loved anywhere. It didn't feel like this moment in football, like this era was coming to an end the way it might have for Manning, for Breeze, for Brady, the way it will someday for Mahomes and Josh Dobbs and Tommy DeVito. No, but seriously, like it felt so bizarre. I'm like, yeah, I guess they should be doing this. And they're talking about, the Super Bowl, the MVPs, all these Pro Bowls. And I'm like, but he's such a disconnected guy that quite frankly, did not win enough. I look at him and I look at Mike McCarthy and I think, man, is there any coach or quarterback, in this case, quarterback, is there any quarterback who has done less with more than Aaron Rodgers? Always had elite weapons around him. Always had good teams. Always had home playoff games in one of the great home field advantages in the NFL, both fans-wise, but specifically weather-wise. And he just never made the most of it. You win a Super Bowl, you're immortal. You won a Super Bowl. I'm not taking that away. But you compare him with, Brady, Manning, Montana, Mahomes, some of the greats of the game. And of those guys, we'd be shitting on Peyton Manning for only winning 2. Rodgers won 1. And so it was this weird feeling last night, watching and listening to this, of like, I don't really care that Aaron Rodgers is retiring if this is it. and he'll be weird about it. Like, that's the other thing. Like, we know he's going to be weird about it. It's like, there's always that one person in your family or maybe even your friend group. Maybe they've changed since college and you're like, they're not bad. They're nice people. They mean well. They like me. I like them. But like, they're fucking weird. And I don't want to invite them to this thing because I just don't want to deal with that shit. Like, that's kind of what Aaron Rodgers is. And that's how it'll be with this retirement. Like, all right, dude, you're retiring, huh? Like, for real, you're just going to retire, huh? All right, cool. I mean, not that the game won't miss you at all, but like, the game hasn't really known you the last couple of years. This is with a whimper. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. That's how Aaron Rodgers' career just ended. And I don't think the NFL world is really moved by it. I don't think NFL fans are really moved by it. Which is just I don't know. It fascinates me. It really fascinates me. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, come at you live, YouTube, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Your lunchtime alternative, Boston Sports Talk Radio, right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. Look, when we come back, very short break here, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about another quarterback, Justin Herbert. Did the Patriots break him? We'll tell you about it next on the Wicked Boston Show.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
Dog, I gotta take a minute before we talk about Justin Herbert. I'm on my timeline in the commercial break, and boy, is this stupid, dude. And it comes from a great college quarterback, guy who would have been a great pro quarterback if he didn't get hurt, I believe. And from my alma mater. Robert Griffin III tweeted out from his podcast. At 29 years old, Josh Allen is already one of the greatest playoff performers in NFL history. Okay. First in total yards per game, first in touchdown to turnover ratio, second in rushing touchdowns, third in total touchdowns per game. Tell the clowns to shut up and watch greatness. Brother, I'm sorry. You cannot be one of the greatest playoff performers of all time when you don't make the final round. Like, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. He hasn't played in a Super Bowl. Like, I'm sorry. I get the numbers are great. But, like, how can we do that? What other sport do we do that in? I mean, sure. I mean, we don't do it in football either. But, like, what are we doing? How can you say he's played in one AFC championship game? Like, how can you say that he's one of the great performers of all time? And if you do want to stay with that, if you do want to stick to that and say Josh Allen's one of the best playoff performers ever, then the next question becomes, do you want the best playoff performer ever? Like, just going to a Super Bowl or just winning a Super Bowl doesn't automatically make you a great quarterback, right? Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, there are these guys. Joe Flacco. But if you give me the choice of, hey, you can have Josh Allen, the greatest playoff performer ever, or you can have not the greatest playoff performer ever, Patrick Mahomes. Like, are we serious? Are we even, no one's thinking about that for more than 0.00001 seconds. Nobody is making a second thought about that. So, like, this is just, I'm sorry, at 29, he's already. Like, all the other great quarterbacks we talk about, whether fair or unfair, they win Super Bowls by the time they're 29. Brady, Mahomes, Montana. I think Manning was 30. Like, we're talking about you've already won a Super Bowl. This is, I don't really get this about the Bills and Josh Allen. Because let me be clear about this. Let me be clear. The Bills are a very good program, franchise the last 5 years. They've been terrific. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. No doubt, man. Like, no doubt. I've seen it plenty. Trust me, too many times. But why do we just, like, anoint these guys without them doing anything? Like, oh, the Bills have the best odds to win the AFC right now. Like, they're a fucking 6 seed, and they've got the best odds. Everyone was anointing Josh Allen the MVP after he beat the Patriots in December. They didn't even win the division. And we're talking about them winning the Super Bowl. Like, I don't get it. This is the worst roster they've had since, like, 2019. And everyone's like, they're going to win. This is it. It's the Bills' year. It just baffles me why we've crowned them. It's the only team I can remember in the NFL that for, like, year after year, we've been like, that's the team, that's the quarterback, that's the coach, when they haven't done dick. They haven't even played in a Super Bowl. I don't know if they've gotten the memo that it's actually the second Sunday in February now. Like, it's bizarre to me. It's really, really bizarre. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest. I just saw that and I was like, are you kidding me? And can a guy, how about this last question? Can a guy be the greatest NFL playoff performer in history if the only reason that we're saying they're going to win the Super Bowl is because a different quarterback isn't in the playoffs? Can we really consider the other guy to be the greatest when the best thing going for the Buffalo Bills is the fact that Patrick Mahomes is not in the playoffs? So I just, wow. Yeah. If you just, and these are, players will say, don't go off stats, go off dogs. And then they'll do shit like this. So that's a tough one. That almost anyone who buys into that, I think gets dumber having done that and just isn't grasping it. Why you play the game. Anyway, and Josh Allen might still win one. He's definitely a good enough quarterback to win one, but he hasn't, and he hasn't come close. He hasn't been in the game. Anyway, let's talk about what we're supposed to talk about. Speaking of one of the greatest playoff performing quarterbacks of all time, did the Patriots break Justin Herbert? I think the answer is yes. But it's been coming up quite a bit over the last couple of days since the Patriots shut down the Chargers in the AFC wildcard round, because now everyone's talking Justin Herbert, 0-3 in the playoffs. Here's how many picks he's thrown. Here's how many times he's turned the ball over. Here's how many times he's been sacked. And it's fascinating because the whole discussion leading up to this game last Sunday night was the Chargers can win because Justin Herbert can do anything. And this is when he's finally going to put it behind him. And look at what he's done with who he actually has on the roster and available to him. Maybe this guy should be the MVP. I heard all of that from Chargers fans, from NFL analysts, from people covering the team, heard all about it. And then they get their ass kicked in Foxborough. They don't get in the end zone. And now it's like, well, it's not Justin's fault. Look at that offensive line he had. Who was he going to throw to? Marion Hampton wasn't out there. Like, we knew all of that going into the game. We knew every single part of that going into the game. And everyone was like, but that's why the Chargers could win, because they have Justin Herbert. The Patriots treated him like a freaking ragdoll. And it was obvious to anyone watching that game, Justin Herbert's struggle was much more than not having your tackles out there, your starting tackles. That's a big deal, but it's been a big deal for 4 months now. No, the problem was Justin didn't know when to run or when to pass. He kept his eyes downfield. I mean, he could have had a touchdown to Lab McConkey on like the second play of the game, and instead he ran it to the sideline for 4 yards. He had a guy wide open, And other times where there's two high safeties and there's all kinds of turf in front of him, he's still looking to throw. And, Greg Roman had no answers, man. They're talking about it during the commentary or during the game on the commentary of like, you could run some shallow crosses here. That's kind of the way you beat the blitz. That's what you do in a goal line situation. And they just never did it at any point. And then you get Chargers players going up to Robert Spillane after the game and saying, we didn't even know what you guys were in. We didn't know what coverage you guys were in. We didn't know how to respond to it. The whole night they didn't know that. Their OC didn't know it. And maybe more importantly, their quarterback didn't know it. And I thought what was kind of a slept on part of this game was that when the Patriots offense was starting to get into a rhythm, it was a lot of Drake May calling audibles at the line of scrimmage. A lot of that in the second half when he went 11 for 14 and threw the game's only touchdown. He commanded the line of scrimmage, Drake May did. He commanded his offense. Justin Herbert was just commanding his teammates to come pick him up off the turf. I mean, he was beaten up, and you can keep making excuses for Justin Herbert as long as you want. But the bottom line is, he's 0-3 in the playoffs, and each of those games he's lost a different way. Right? The first one, he had a 4-touchdown lead, and they blew it. The second one, he threw 4 picks, and they lost. Low scoring. This third one, they didn't even need to turn the ball over. They had one, but this one, they just couldn't score. They couldn't move the ball at all. They couldn't convert on third down. They were 1 for 10 on third down. Like, at some point, you got to look at those 3 games with, 2 different head coaches and, different offensive coordinators, different situations, different teams around you, and just say, you know what? The constant's Justin Herbert. It's a 27-year-old kid who should be in his prime right now, and instead we're like taking a spatula to an egg on the sidewalk on a hot day. Just trying to get him up off the turf. Pellets and all. And it's more than just the offensive line. Herbert was bad, man. He was missing throws. He couldn't move the ball. He didn't utilize his legs. Christian Ellis did a good job as a spy in the game from the Patriots side of things. But Justin Herbert did nothing on Sunday to make you feel at ease of like, oh, that wasn't his fault. When everyone's back next year, he'll be fine. He'll win playoff games. It should be a crisis mode in LA right now, if they had enough fans for it. It should be crisis mode for the Chargers, looking at Justin Herbert and his playoff performances. This is a Patriots defense that is pretty good. Top 10. But like, the way that I'm afraid of this Texans defense, that's the way the Chargers made the Patriots look on Sunday night. That's the way Justin Herbert made them look. Like, man, no one can get past this defense. Defense is good. I wouldn't call it great. They looked beyond great on Sunday night. And like, this is the lasting image here. You know, try Google image search like I did. Justin Herbert versus Patriots. And if you're not getting that shit show last year, you're getting these. Him on the ground, him getting hit, him fumbling the ball, his body in all these weird gyrated, you know, like it's all that. Or him on the sideline staring blankly into space. Just gives you absolutely no confidence. And I think this could be the game that truly breaks him. Like, this could be what they were describing with Shane Falco in the Sugar Bowl or the Rose Bowl, whatever one it was in the replacements. Like, you know, he's being ripped up off the turf every couple of plays and, you know, checking for a pulse. Couldn't move the ball at all. Running and fighting for his life. You know, didn't command the line of scrimmage at all. Didn't make anything happen. You know, and we say it all the time, and maybe it's not fair, but the really good ones at this age, the really good ones, the elite ones, they make things happen. You know, and maybe he doesn't win the game, but maybe, I don't know, he scores a touchdown. His offense scores a touchdown or more than 3 points. The elite ones can make that happen at age 27. You know, if Drake May has the kind of game that Justin Herbert did this week and he has it next week against the Texans, it's bad, but you're like, okay, first-year starter, 23-year-old quarterback, clearly has a lot to learn. But Justin Herbert's in the prime of his career. This is the game he'll be thinking about. He was seeing ghosts all night long. And he'll be seeing ghosts again next year, and he's going to be thinking about this game. Because, yeah, the New England Patriots, they broke this dude. They broke him. And they might have broken the short-term future of the Chargers. Because it's sensible to sit there and say, you know, if they have their tackles, that is a really good team, right? That is a potential Super Bowl contender team with how good their defense is, with how good in the regular season Justin Herbert is. But now this is going to, that's going to be in the back of your mind now. That little sequitur there is right there of regular season Justin Herbert's great, but can he do it in the playoffs? Patriots proved, not right now he can't. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, coming at you live on YouTube every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. When we come back, let's shift to the Red Sox a little bit because the Red Sox have to shift a lot a bit. Alex Bregman not there. Is Bo Bichette your answer? Or did something happen at MLB today that opens the door for something else for the Red Sox? We'll talk about that next on the Wicked Boston Show.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Polo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner. powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. U-Like.
Back here on the Wicked Boston Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, live on YouTube as we are every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. Boy, I got some response yesterday from some people in my life. I got some response to that Red Sox segment I did yesterday, where it got the best of me, and I don't regret it at all. But like I was so focused on the Patriots all weekend, and then I get going about the Red Sox and letting Alex Bregman go. And yesterday I see, him at the Blackhawks game, and I'm just like, man, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Dude, like I'm so sick of this crap the Red Sox ownership is trying to pull on us. And like I don't even know if they're defending anymore. Because how can they defend? Like, it's just the same shit every year. They cheap out. They don't go out and pay free agents. Just even though every other contender does that, the Red Sox think, no, we're too good for that. And as they get reminded every year, they're not too good for that. So as long as the check's clear and John Henry is making a certain amount every year and the team goes 81-81, then it's great. Everything above that is gravy. And last year, they got above that. And see, here's the difference, is last year, we as Red Sox fans saw that they were in the playoffs and that they're really close to being a World Series contender and a legit, like, World Series champ, potentially. And we think, man, let's go out there. Let's go for it. We're so close, man. The difference is the ownership sees it and they say, well, we did better than 81-81. We made the playoffs. Next year, we might even get a home playoff game. And we did our job. We did our job. We kept subtracting from the team as much as humanly possible, right? We trade Rafi Devers for nothing. Nobody that was on your playoff roster. You went out at the trade deadline when you said you were going to be aggressive, and you got no one that was on your playoff roster, okay? And Nate fucking Lowe is hitting 5th and playing first base for you in a playoff game. And then at the end of the season, again, all kinds of assets that you can trade, but more importantly, all kinds of money that you saved from the Rafael Devers deal. And instead of adding, you got worse. You subtracted. So since the start of last year, you have only subtracted. You've only subtracted. And that's where I just don't get it. And yeah, people have been texting me like, tone it down, man. Like, geez, I was yelling, profanity laced. And the big thing, I guess, now is, where do you go? What do you do next? Alex Bregman's not there, and there's not really another replacement. The first name that comes up always is Bo Bichette. And we have heard about the Red Sox interest in Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette's a fine player. But do you really, in your right mind, think that when the Red Sox are balking at an extra $10 million in deferred payments from Alex Bregman and a no-trade clause, if you think they're not willing to go 5 years and $175 for Alex Bregman, that they're going to go for a $300 million deal for Bo Bichette, the dollar figure that he and his agent are looking for, are you shitting me? There's no way. And honestly, if they do that, Red Sox fans should be even more insulted. Because then that would say, we're not really just cheap, we're stupid. And that when we do spend money, it's going to be stupid. And that is my big fear here. Like, if you end up with Bichette and you announce him on opening day, am I clapping for him? Yeah. Bichette's a nice player. But he's not as good as Alex Bregman. And he's going to be worth almost double the price. Oh, but he's a couple years younger. I'm sick of that, dude. Alex Bregman is not 38 years old. In fact, he's not going to be 38 years old even at the end of his contract. But Bichette's the guy we got to get in here. And, it's funny. A couple weeks ago on the show, we were still talking about potentially Ketel Marte. And I decided to do their side-by-side of the last 2 seasons, which included 2 contract years for Alex Bregman. And Ketel Marte beat him in every category offensively. And so I thought, okay, it's only fair that I do that with Bichette. And everyone will say, well, Bichette had a bad 2024. Yup. And Alex Bregman isn't the hitter that he once was in 2024 or 2025. And so I think that's fair. Bichette had a bounce back year this year. Let's compare them head to head in the last 2 seasons. Oof. Yikes. That's not good. That's not good for the Red Sox. Oh, Alex Bregman is a couple years older, and you wouldn't be able to trade him just like every other long-term contract you freaking commit to. But he's also worth 4 more wins. I mean, don't need to go much farther than there, but let's do it anyway. The counting stats, obviously, Bregman's played more games, which itself is frightening in the last 2 seasons because Bregman has had injuries in both of those seasons. Okay, but let's just go by the percentage-wise. Oh, yeah. Bregman beats him in every category. So you're going to tell me that you'll solve our right-handed hitting middle-of-the-order power bat problem by getting Bichette instead of Alex Bregman when Bichette's slash line does not match up at all. And his OPS is considerably lower. His OPS plus is considerably lower. Bottom line is we don't really know. Like, we know Bichette down in there is a good player. But you don't know at all if he's going to give you a good contract. You don't know that. He was putrid in 2024. He was awful playing half the season. He was a negative WAR player at 26. Okay? And it's not like this guy is smashing the MVP market. He's finished top 20 a couple of times, no top 10s. Oh, Cam, that's a pretty high standard. Well, Alex Bregman's finished in the top 10 a couple of times. And you said no to him. This is where you're going to lose me. I think he's a good player, Bichette. But if you're bringing that fucker in for 7 years, $300 million, and you wouldn't pay almost half that price, a little more than half that price for Alex Bregman on 5 years, it's going to take a lot of convincing, man. It doesn't add up. It does not add up at all. And that's why Red Sox fans are sick of this shit. Sick of it. Bichette's a nice player. He is not as good as Alex Bregman. He does not fill the hole that Alex Bregman has left in this lineup. And more importantly for the Red Sox, there's no one player, maybe even no 2 players that you can acquire that can fill the hole that you left by not paying Alex Bregman and downright trading Rafael Devers. There is no 2 players out there on the market that you can get that can replace that production. And their leaving was entirely your decision. Entirely. You could have paid $10 million extra dollars for Alex Bregman. You didn't. You could have just, I don't know, not traded your best hitter in Rafael Devers. But you did. For nothing. For flexibility. What fucking flexibility? You didn't get anybody. Just so you can not pay Alex Bregman? Like, that has to keep you awake at night if you're a Red Sox fan. $10 million extra dollars. That is a third of what they're going to save on the Rafi Devers trade this freaking year. They're saving $275 million on Devers' deal, and you wouldn't pay an extra fucking 10 for the guy you brought in to be his replacement? That is so backwards, man. That should make you want to put a paper bag over your head and protest outside of Fenway Park. It's just a ridiculous way to run a goddamn baseball team. Oh, do you know any better? I got a bunch of people on my street here, right outside of Boston, who can run a team better than John Henry and Craig Breslow are right now. Like, what team goes to the playoffs and say, you know what, we should actually get worse next year? That there's no killer instinct in there. The Red Sox always had great teams when I was growing up, and they wanted to be better. They wanted to get better. And this year was the first, I think, shining example of a team that was pretty good and had flexibility to get better and be a better team and be a contender in 2026. And right now they're saying, actually, we don't want to do that. What do you want to do? What is the goal of the Boston Red Sox? Because for 25 other teams, the goal is to get better and win championships. And for the Red Sox, that used to be the goal. Even when they couldn't win it for 80 years, that was always the goal. Right now, it's not even the goal. The goal is to just make money. Take the tit of any Red Sox fan in Boston, in New England, around the country, around the world. Just take their nipple and suck them dry for every ounce that they've got. Baseball team be damned. And you know what you're going to start to see next? Guys who are on the free agent market, they're not going to want to come here. Like, they see a Bregman deal, they say, I could go there for 1 year, but I'm not doing anything past that. They don't want to commit. They don't want to pay me market value. Nobody wants to come here. And that sucks, because the guys who do play here love it. It is one of the great baseball towns in the country, but you can't get them here because you're too goddamn cheap. That's frightening. Frightening. I don't know if this is anything, but the Diamondbacks have traded for Nolan Arenado just in the last hour here. So maybe that means they'll be listening to some offers for Ketel Marte again. But good luck, man. You drove up your own asking price. Like, if you have to give up one of, Marcelo Meyer, or let's say two of Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Peyton Tolley, Connolly Early, just to get Ketel Marte in here, it's your own damn fault. Jimmy, tell him, it's your own fault. You drove up the price on yourselves by letting Alex Bregman go. You idiots, man. You idiots. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. God, I like to be a nice person, but God damn it, if the Red Sox just don't bring the worst out of me. I have to go to church after I think about the Red Sox. I say, God damn it, the whole time. They just bring all this hate out of me. I like to see the best in people. And then I see John Henry with that goddamn cigar for 114 games of Alex Bregman. And I can't, man. I can't be a good person when that's happening. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then we're available wherever you get your podcasts as well. It's your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio. It's right here on the Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Zach for keeping us on the air. And we will have some more Patriots Texans preview for you coming up tomorrow. We'll see you then on the Wicked Boston Show.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.